Many people describe destroyers as kind of, they call them greyhounds, but they also refer to them as the workhorses of the Navy, pretty much because they're almost like this Swiss Army knife.
Obviously, in a name, we destroy stuff.
The mission of the destroyer is basically we're a warship. Basically, just to bring the heat.
The mission of the destroyer, when you go on deployment, is to protect the carrier.
We have underwater detection and tracking and also engagement capabilities. We have surface warfare capabilities. We have a lot of capabilities so far as surface and air interception.
Yeah, buddy.
So life on a destroyer,
It's not a normal working environment.
It can be really hectic. Things change at a drop of a hat. We could be called upon to go anywhere at any time, and there's very few of us on these ships. It's exciting, it can be boring, but always dynamic.
it's smaller, definitely smaller than aircraft carriers and all that. But it being so small, you learn a little bit about everything. Like, you know everybody, you get to see what everybody else does.
We're all cross-trained individuals, and I've certainly found that down to the most junior sailor we've got. They are kind of rough and ready to get into whatever needs to be done day to day. There's no one just doing their core role on a destroyer if that destroyer is actually succeeding at its mission set. With 270 or 340 people, no one can stand on the sidelines.
You learn a lot of your rate on a destroyer. It depends on the day, but most days it's, you wake up, get out of your rack, get ready, go get dressed, shower, whatever you do what you gotta do, and you go to work.
No matter what you do, you always have a watch and stand. So for me, for example, I stand watch in the morning and at night. And all the time in between is work time or personal time.
Everyone stands watch because the ship has to be manned 24/7, right? We're on the water, so we have to basically be eyes and ears at all times. We also have drills during the day. It could be damage control drills. We also have training, our normal mess decks and galley hours, recreational time.
So different people they could be on like a nocturnal schedule. They could be absolutely sleeping during the day and working or standing watch during the night. It just depends.
So if we don't keep track of the days, or if we don't try to go out, it'll be Wednesday for a week straight and won't even realize it. So the first time I went underway, it was Wednesday for 3 days, because if you think about it, our days are in 2 parts, so it'll be Monday part 1 and 2. That's how we keep track of it. So it's just trying to keep track of those types of things.
Going into the Thunderdome.
My name is Fire Controlman Aegis First Class Surface Warfare Amanda Michelle Kellis. I'm from Vass, North Carolina. I'm a spy technician on board, so my radar is the primary air and surface search radar, high power 360-degree multifunctional phased array. We're able to pick up targets from a really far distance away and be able to track them even further and help our ship be able to have early warning for any inbound air or surface combatants.
We're going to make sure we know, who are you, what are your intentions. This is a U.S. Navy warship. We are not to be messed with. I mean, sometimes it's slow, but sometimes it's absolutely the opposite. And then, almost immediately, it could just mellow out again. It's just...
Exercise. Set. Yellow. Safe. Weapons posture 1. Air.
Oh, I can't wait to shoot a missile. Oh,
yeah.
172.
Success. Okay, my name is Ashley Lisette Sepulveda. My job title is electronic technician. I am from Miami, Florida, but my entire family is from Puerto Rico. I actually did not want to go to a ship. I didn't know any surface ships at all. I only seen carriers, and that's because of movies. My job on a destroyer, I'm an electronics technician. Another word that they call us as ETs is the everything tech. So it's pretty funny because we do essentially fix everything on the ship, from phones to simple speakers to more complex systems like weapon systems, communication systems. So yeah, we get hands-on with pretty much anything electronic. I just always loved engineering since a little kid. I always say that. I just thought everything that I'm doing is really, really cool. I get a little bit like nerdy when it comes to what I do. I definitely love DDG. I'm really glad that I came to a small boy versus a big tech because I get to touch all of the equipment as an electronics technician, and that's why I joined, because I love being an ET. I did engineering a lot in high school, and I went to college before this. Here I'm getting the experience as I wanted as an electronic technician, being hands-on with all the equipment. Because we're in such close premises with all the equipment, one person essentially will be able to do all, versus on a carrier or a bigger deck, they have several departments that can handle, let's just say, one specific equipment. So they'll be working on that one for most of their time, rather than an ET on a small boat, you would be working on everything.
Okay, so my first name is Victor, last name Rocha. I'm a GSE. I'm currently the LPO for EMO4, which is the gas turbine electrical.
My main role here is to make sure that whatever the bridge calls, that we're able to provide propulsion for that, no matter what.
So I was originally born in Granada, Nicaragua, and then I came to the United States in '99, and I lived in Pennsylvania. So it's actually, I was an undergrad at Penn State, and then when I showed up here, it's nothing what you expect. So I'm a gas turbine technician, electrical. What that means is I work with jet engines that produce power and propulsion. I oversee a work center of 8 people, and what we're in charge of is making sure that these engines produce propulsion and electricity for the ship. The first time you go into an engineering space, you're kind of in awe, because you just don't realize how big an engineering space is. You also don't realize how big the ship is. Like, it kind of looks big from the outside, but then you realize how really big it is once you're inside and you're like this little insignificant dot walking through the space. It's loud, very loud. You know, you have propulsion machinery going on in there. You have all types of stuff going on there. Everything that keeps the ship afloat and running is in there. So it's loud, it's hot.
This is the heart of everything. Everything starts down here. So when we're getting ready to get underway, down here is like a busy time. Everybody's trying to start systems, trying to start fuel, move oil, so on and so forth. So these engines put out for like 40,000 horsepower and can push a 505-foot ship through that water at like 30 plus knots. So it's pretty incredible. It's incredible. We only have 4, and these 4 engines do a great job of doing it.
The 3 generators that we own, that literally powers everything on the ship. It powers everything from our water pumps that give us drinking water to the radar. You know, everything is powered by us. We're pretty much the ones that supply power to everybody, and then we turn that over to the electricians' mates who actually route the power where it needs to go. So we meet halfway with them.
It's how we make our drinking water. You have somebody come around every hour and check on it, make sure we have enough water for the crew. And provide hot water to the whole ship for showering and cooking and all that. Back there, literally you can see the shaft going all the way back to the back end of the ship. And you can tell, like, if you know, even if you're not topside, you can kind of tell how fast we're going based on how fast the shaft is rotating. This is like one of the great things about doing what I do. It's never a dull day. You always got something new going on.
My full name is Joshua Sanders, and I am GM2 Sanders, and I'm a gunner's mate. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. Before I joined the Navy, I didn't know there was different types of ships, you know, just based off of what you see on TV. big ships, small ships. We're on a smaller ship, but no, I didn't know anything at all. So as a gunner's mate, we were responsible for all small arms regarding pistols, shotguns, rifles, and torpedo tubes, and various amounts of other equipment on the ship. Also 50 calibers and 240s. So all types of small arms and crew served weapons. We're responsible for maintaining them, issuing to the crew. Anything in our job that we shoot, we always have to do pre-fires. So that's making sure that the weapons are good to go, make sure that they function properly. So it's like, okay, cool, we had a fun day of shooting, now we got to clean up.
Doing a hazmat? No, I don't know.
Okay. I think that we might have to just forego the swabbing at the moment since
I live in a space that has 24 racks for females, and we have 3 sinks, 1 shower, and 2 toilets.
It's weird because I've never worked anywhere where like you kind of are, you know, like you go from being in a professional setting to like in your pajamas just hanging out, like within 200 feet.
You get accustomed to it. Yeah, it's small. It's not a lot of wiggle room, but it's like yours, you know, and you just get comfortable in it. You just gotta make it yours, you know.
Here it is. This is home. I can sit up in it, which is pretty nice, because otherwise you're kind of constricted to this little like tinderbox of love. And we're allowed to have like an 8x11 sized area for family photos, or your kitty cat, your doggy, goldfish, whatever you want. We each have our EVDs, or emergency escape breathing devices, just in case, you know, bad business happens, lights go down, there's a fire and smoke, we can clock that guy on, and we've got good breathing air for about 15 minutes to be able to egress out of this space and topside. These are our hurricane straps that keep us inside the beds. I'm sure the more tinier folks, there's a little bit more margin for error.
It's all right, you know, you just got to remember where you are, because if not, you know, you'll wake up and hit your head. It's not too bad. It's really not.
Just hop in there, you know, like literally. Bam. Right on in, you know. And it's comfortable.
Oh yeah, honestly, somebody told me this when I first entered the Navy. It's literally the best sleep you'll ever get because the ship's rocking. So even if it's like 3 or 4 hours, it's probably some of the best sleep you'll ever have.
The XO is very keen on if the light touches it, then there could be dust. So he creeps around really, really thoroughly. So in anticipation of him coming here, I'm just gonna, while we're talking, just kind of straighten up people's business.
You're adrift, crash on the deck, sleeping bag in the angle irons. So we just did Berthing 3's berthing inspection. It's something that we do daily. The premise behind it is that this is our largest berthing on board. Roughly 100 people live in here, and so if we can't keep it clean, the sheer nature of that many people living in this space, it just adds to the ability of the body to fight off the infections, the germs, etc., the crud, the cough. So keeping it clean every day is a requirement, and it's about keeping the crew healthy.
That's my guy. That's my guy right there.
Let's go, baby. Let's get this gym, baby.
The people above.
So the gyms are very small, they get very crowded, and they get very hot and sweaty.
That's the best thing about ship life. You get creative with tiny spaces. You figure out how to make it work.
You don't know what's going to happen in the middle of the ocean. You don't know if you are out there fighting a fire or a damage, or we get hit by something. You would have to swim, you would have to pull yourself up. You don't know what dangers you will face, and if your body is not physically prepped for the stamina endurance that you're about to face, then you are in danger of yourself and maybe putting other people's in danger because they might have to go back to help you because you can't physically help yourself.
Kind of prison workouts in a way, I suppose. I mean, I run on a treadmill as well. You're kind of just like, you're running and then we start taking a turn, you're like, whoa, and then it's like a hill, it's like, ah, so it's a little bit more interesting than just running on flat land treadmill.
The things get heavier, then things get lighter, and then things get heavier.
The four of us work together, we're all GSEs. We all work in the same division, so we probably spent like 40, 80 hours a week together. So we do everything together. We all sleep in the same berthing. We go to lunch together, we go to breakfast together. We work out together. It's good, you know, we have this good camaraderie. We're always like, you know, of course we get mad at each other, just like you would with anybody, but it doesn't last very long. You know, you're gonna be with this guy this whole underway, this whole month, like, you know, we get along great. You know, he's like a brother to me and vice versa. You know, we all know each other's families and stuff, like, you know, like you end up being real close. Like, even outside of work, we hang out together.
Ooh, we've got chicken wings. We've got mozzie sticks. We ain't got no mozzie sticks. We've got jalapeno poppers and pizza. Some zap.
Our CSs do the best that they can, honestly, with having to feed so many people 3 times a day, especially when they're given the opportunity to get a little frisky with it and throw a little of their own flair. That's always when people go crazy over it.
Every day we serve about almost 300 people. We wake up around 4:30 in the morning, cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We usually get out of here around like maybe 8 o'clock after cleaning all that stuff. On smaller ships, we make more things from scratch. Oh, it's, you know, it boosts morale. You know, that's like one of the biggest things is if the food tastes good and everyone's fed well, I think the morale of the crew is always high.
He's thirsty. He's been working all day. John,
So, the best thing about being underway, everybody makes fun of each other.
Yeah.
Especially Trenko.
Never. That's like, I never do that.
Like, we all literally depend on it. If like EM1 fails to do his job, then like we don't have any lighting anywhere, no matter how much power we produce, you know, and so on and so forth. So like, we give each other a lot of crap, but you know, like we all work literally shoulder on shoulder. So it's kind of like you know, it's like your brother. You hate him, but you love him.
In the middle of the ocean, we make our own water, we make our own power, and we make our own support system.
The real feeling of being a sailor and being in the Navy, which is being part of a crew.
You get the sense of pride of like, you know, not just serving your country, but like, you know, like being part of like a command that can do all these missions. And you know, you see the fruits of your labor every day. Like what you work and what you do literally comes to fruition all the time you walk around.
It's sometimes just card games and joking around and goofing, but you can't really, when you're standing on like this steel ground, you can't really forget what you're here for.